Absolutely. Now, this is a question that I've been asked a lot, and the answer to it has evolved a lot throughout the 4 months since I announced my candidacy. And from the outside looking in, there are a lot of people who see it as like, oh, this is a young Asian American woman who's just pissed off at the world and just wants to retaliate towards a local politician who sits in the races. And I can understand, how some people may come to that conclusion if they don't know my story. But the truth is, and I think this is the case for a lot of Asian Americans, this has been bubbling for years, probably for our entire lives. So like my parents came into this country under the belief that they had an equal opportunity to have a life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? That is in the Declaration of Independence in this country. And so they give up their entire culture, their family, their comfort zone to come to this country that says, hey, we are here to support you. And when they get here, my dad, he went from, living in a house with his parents and his family to a house of strangers, 10 people, in the small apartment in New York City. And that's just what he thought he had to do to be able to earn that opportunity that was promised to them and to many immigrants. But they never complained. My parents never ever complained about these issues. They did what many immigrant parents did. They just worked their butts off for their kids.
This is such a typical story we hear from immigrant families too. They never complain, are generally politically not involved, right? And that's why we never hear from them.
Yep, exactly. And don't get me wrong, I'm incredibly grateful for this life I have, for the sacrifices my parents have made for me. But for me, something that my parents taught me growing up is you cannot be a hypocrite. If you say you're going to do something, then you're going to do it. And this country has not held itself accountable for its promises.